This morning, I sent the president a letter urging him to reconsider his reckless threat to shut down the government later this year. In veto threats of two House spending bills, both of which have passed the House with overwhelming support, the White House said the president would not sign any spending bill unless we agree to his demands for a broader budget deal. In short, the president said, higher taxes and higher spending, or we're going to shut down the government. I think that's reckless. Listen, there's no one who wants to make progress on the deficits more than I do. I've been working on it for years now. I know how hard it is. That's why the idea of shutting down the government, if we can't find a deal, is so irresponsible. And the truth is that we have a consequence for failing to find further deficit reduction. It's called sequestration. The president knows that. He concocted this idea and insisted upon it. The administration's threats represent a significant departure from an agreement the president made just several months ago. At a meeting at the White House on March 1st of this year, I asked the president and the other leaders for an agreement that we should address funding for the government and putting a deficit plan together as separate actions. Everyone, including the president, agreed. I can't say it any better than the president did back in March when he said, "There's no reason why we should have another crisis by shutting the government down in addition to these arbitrary spending cuts." Now, the House and Senate budget chairs are continuing to be engaged in discussions. Informal conversations about a framework is necessary before moving to a formal conference. No one should be surprised that finding a framework to reconcile these two budgets is very difficult, especially since the Senate budget never, ever comes to balance. These talks are hard, but I'm hopeful that we'll be able to find an agreement in some way. And I think it's critical for the long-term health of our economy and essential if we're going to protect and preserve important programs like Medicare and Social Security. But the president did this week only makes this difficult task, even more difficult. So today I'm urging him to take the government shutdown threat off the table and honor our agreement from March 1st to treat these matters separately.